and share my screen. All right, so welcome to Tech Thursday. We're going to dive right in today. So the first session that we had on of Tech Thursday was on Workvivo as a general overview. We ran through that super quick. Today, I wanted to just dive into one specific section that I think is one of the most powerful and beneficial features inside of Workvivo. But before I dive into that, who has been using Workvivo and updated their profile maybe from the first session, who joined that first session, or just kind of share your thoughts about your Workvivo usage so far, what you like, what you don't like, and let's just kind of start there.
I updated my profile and I set up all the notifications, which I had to turn off because I was getting too many emails. But I
Yes.
haven't really been sitting at my desk a whole lot lately where I've been, logged on and actually looking through it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to spend more time on it, but it's just one of those things that I haven't gotten around to because I've been out a
Yeah.
lot.
Good. Well, yeah, the notifications, I have all my email turned off, so I don't get the email notifications. I just get the push notifications on my phone because you're right. If you're getting all those notifications, it can be overwhelming. Who else?
I've been with Real for less than a month, so I'm still trying to learn everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing in Workvivo.
Okay, awesome. Well, if you are a part of the Workvivo space that we have, I don't know if you've joined it yet, but in there I post all of the recordings. And the
Mhm.
first one was kind of a general overview, and there's a section in there where we talk about your profile, because I believe some of the stuff that you can do on there, and Diane can kind of attest to this too. She updated her profile a little bit and specifically put her area. And Diane, do you want to share what happened to you? I think it was either last week or early this week.
Yeah, though actually it was in Leo, so I'm not
Oh,
sure.
oh,
Is that, yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
So I don't
so
want to,
so basically you can go through and someone can search for your profile based on the area that you're at. So I don't want to spend too much on time on that, but one of the things we talked about in there is updating your profile, and that becomes a searchable field. So as more and more people engage in
yeah,
Workvivo, it'll become a more searchable feature, and you'll be able to
yeah,
get
work Vivo and then Leo, whatever,
and
but I got a referral from an agent from another
yep.
state because they found my profile and it fit their needs. So it was just another way of a referral
Yep.
source.
Just another referral source. So, all right. So let's dive into spaces specifically today. Anybody else have anything they want to share about their Workvivo usage or non-usage or anything else? All right, so spaces specifically, like I said, I feel is one of the most powerful features with inside of Workvivo. It is a great way for you to build community, whether it's with some kind of social community that you're looking to build, or a community for a specific niche that you want to work on, whether it's a luxury kind of community that you want to create, or a team community that you want to create, or a community like the Tech Thursday, where you can build a platform within the platform to post all of your communications to, and not have to go out and build another website and maintain another expense or anything like that. So I feel that Spaces is a great way to do that. And when more and more people are engaging with Workvivo and the tools that were provided, it'll become even more powerful kind of tool. So how do you create a space? So if there's something you want to do, and you want to create a space, all you need to do is go into spaces on the left-hand menu. So if you go into spaces on the left-hand menu, you'll see up in the top right, you'll have an option to create space. So if you hit create space, you'll see the kind of the space creation um, tool. So the first thing you have to do is you have to name the space. I'm not going to go all through the steps because I don't want to waste space on the server for any kind of stuff here, but you'll name the space, You'll give it a general description. This is what everybody will see when they're searching for your space. You also can categorize the space, whether this is a, a new hire space, a social space. I think that's what most of us would be creating here. Or if we're creating a specific, department or location, that's more of a corporate kind of functionality. But for most of us, I believe the communities that we would be created would be social. So you would just check off social, and that becomes a sortable field there. Then you also choose which features do you want to enable for this space. So do you want a news feature? Do you want an events feature? A documents feature, Q&A, pages, and these are the 5 things that we'll really be going over today. So once you set those on, and useful links, I like this one, so I would check that one off too. We'll show you some functionality with that.
So, Chris, sorry, is this only, all of this stuff is only doable from your desktop? Nothing can be done on your mobile
I
app?
don't believe you can create a space from your mobile.
Okay.
I'm confident on that, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried. I love my mobile phone, but I don't like to create a lot of stuff on it. But I can definitely check on that. Is the space open to external users? No, it's going to be no. Who can join this space? So here's kind of the last setting that you have to do. Well, a couple more. Who can join this space? Is this going to be anybody inside of the real Workvivo platform? Is this going to be private? That you have to be invited into it only. So let's just say you are building one that is for just your team platform as an example. That may be private, and then you're going to individually invite the members to that group. So for this one, you choose on that. And then who can post content? Is this going to be just admin content only? So it's just going to be one person, or if you're building a community of like-minded individuals, do you allow any member to post to that space? So if you go into Tech Thursdays, anybody could post content in there. So if you ever come across something, maybe a new article on AI or something, feel free to post that into the space, and everybody who is getting notifications in there will go to just those people if you post it in just that space. And then the option to send a welcome email. I haven't turned on that yet, but so once you do that, you would go ahead and save. And then the other thing that you can do up here, if you want to, you don't have to do this. You can upload a banner photo for the background, and then an icon for how it will show up on the left-hand column here, and how it will show up in the feed as well. So that's the space creation. Any questions or any other comments on the space creation? All right, so then once the space is created, now you get the opportunity to kind of build it out, whether it's inviting people or just kind of building out content. So to do that, I am going to go into my group itself. So if you're not in this group, hopefully you will consider joining it so you can make sure you stay up to date on all the things we're posting in there. So I'm going to go into that space. Now this may look a little different for me, for you, if you join this space, because this is the admin view of it. But this is what you're going to see when you go into a specific space that is built out. So again, the banner background there, the photo. One thing you'll need to do, and Megan kind of touched on this too, you need to go in and make sure in each of the spaces you join, whether it's this one you created, or another one that you just joined that community, you'll want to go over here to the right-hand side, and you'll want to make this, I would recommend making it a starred space. And then I would also make sure I get notifications for that space. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on for myself, and I'm going to enable space notifications. Now, in that previous session, we talked about where you can you can adjust your space notifications and your overall space notifications, whether you get push notifications or email notifications or both. That's going to be defined in your overall platform settings. So I have it set up so I just get push notifications anytime anybody posts in this space, comments, replies, anything like that. I'll get notifications.
I'm
So
sorry, Chris. I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead.
feel like
Go ahead.
what's the purpose
You cut out there. What's the purpose?
and why would we star spaces? You said to
Why would we
star it,
start?
didn't you? Did I hear you right?
Yeah, so to star
Yeah.
space, yeah, absolutely. So I star spaces because if you go into spaces, like the space menu, the spaces that you are a part of or starred are easily filterable. So as you go into, all spaces, like if kind of this is the default, you could end up having to scroll through hundreds of spaces to find Tech Thursday. So if I wanted to find Tech Thursday and I didn't have it starred, it wouldn't show up in this shorter list. So I've only got a few spaces starred, so these show up filtered at the top for me. So just an easy way to filter, as opposed to all, where it's going to show potentially hundreds of spaces as hopefully more and more people build out their communities in here too. Did that help?
Yes, sorry, yes,
Awesome.
thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So once you've kind of starred that space and turn on the notifications if you choose to, this is kind of what the feed looks like. So it looks similar to many other social media feeds with a couple of, I think, pretty cool exceptions to it, or pretty cool enhancements. So within here, you'll see kind of the main feed. This is where all of the people who have posted and all the events are going to show up just as, normal social media was. But on the right-hand side, you can feature articles. And then underneath that are all the events coming up. So you'll see a list of all the upcoming events for Tech Thursday as an example, and all of the individual events. And then the most recent event will be, in this case, my featured recording shows up above that. Workvivo's recommendation, when they say that when you're building a space out, their recommendation is to do the calendar out about 2 months ahead, so people can start engaging with the upcoming events, adding them to the calendar, and then start building your calendar. If you know how much what your calendar of events would be. Featured documents, you can also see. So these all your featured things are going to show up on the right hand side. And then on the left-hand side you can have this ability to add these quick links. So for example, in this space, I have added, if we've all run into those cases, I can't find the link for that event. Anybody who's administered any kind of Facebook group or any kind of social media group, or just dealt with people in general, there's always those, where's the link to the meeting? How do I get to the meeting? It's right here on the quick links. So you can add any kind of quick links to your page. In this case, so I've got the Zoom meeting link. So if you ever just can't find a link to the calendar, you want to hop on, you can just go right into the space and that link will just open up the Zoom link. In this case, we also have a link to our CE calendar that Diane and I are instructors for Level Up Learning. So that would be just quick link to that. So you can put any kind of quick links in there, whether it's to a YouTube channel or any other content that you want to share as just a quick link. So those are just external links that go out to other places. So that's kind of the feed itself. Again, I think it's very similar to platforms that we're used to. So it has that warm, comfortable feeling, yet I feel it also has a couple of enhancements over a Facebook group space as an example.
Hey, Chris, are you going to go through how the logistics of how to add those, quick links,
Yep.
all of that?
Well,
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. Thank you, Yvonne. So yeah, so that's the kind of the navigation of it. That's what you're going to see as a user. Now, as a space owner or an admin in a space, we're going to dive into now kind of how you get all of these features to kind of come to life. So, because if you go into many groups right now, as an example, if you go into the North Carolina provisional group or the North Carolina state space, not a lot of these are filled out yet. So there's missed opportunities again for additional communications with your community that you're building there. So each one of these can be built out within, and that's what we're going to dive into next. Quick links on the left. If you just want to do a simple kind of link, you just go here. You literally just add a link, and it's just, where is it going to be on your top level? Do you have because you could put additional folders under there, kind of sub levels. What's the label for that link, and then what's the URL? So if I wanted to, put a link to the YouTube channel, I could just put that in there, and I would drop the link in there. I'm just going to put that there just for purposes. And now, it's a quick access to that link. As an admin, I can go in here, and if I don't want a link or that link is no longer relevant, I can just go ahead and delete that. So now, we've got that. So that's kind of the stuff that you can do on the home page, so to speak. The first thing I want to dive into after the navigation is events, because again, this is where you can, when your group is engaged with the, if your community is engaged with your content, it's a great way. It auto sends reminders out to people when they're getting their notification. They can add it to their calendar very easily. They can RSVP to it as well. But the first thing you need to do is you need to create the event. So if I go in here into events, and as an admin, I will see a little gearbox up here. And in this gearbox, I'm going to hit manage events. And then over here on the left-hand side, I will see new event. So if I go to new event, I'm just going to call it Tech Thursday sample test. Put a start date and time. And then your summary. So if he says right here, so summary is going to show what's going to show up in the event feed and when the event is added to the calendar. So for me, for my events, mine are Zoom style events a lot of times. So I actually put the Zoom link in here as part of the summary so that it shows up when people add it to their calendar. So if anybody adds it to the calendar, the Zoom link automatically embeds right into the description of the event. And if you wanted to put a full event description down here, if this was maybe a bigger event where you're trying to attract people to, you can do that right inside of the full event. I don't usually use that. I might just copy and paste what I have in the summary. So that's the left-hand side of creating an event. You also can create an event image where you would just click on this and you would just go drag in this case, the thumbnail that I have for it. To make it stand out. So that will actually show in the feed with that image. And then you choose whether you can allow members to RSVP, and then you can choose to publish this at a future time. So if you didn't want this to publish on the calendar right away, maybe it was tentative, or maybe it's just too far out, it might change, you can choose to publish this at a different time. If you do not check off that box, the event will publish now unless you choose an alternative date and time. Then you go ahead and save, and that is now added to, oh, I got to put a location in there. So I put my Zoom link in there, go ahead and save. You got to have a description in there. Now I should be able to save. If you do run into any kind of issues with that, so I'm going to go back into that event that I just created. So Thursday Tech Test. I have noticed, so as an example, my last name, for some reason, Workvivo does not like. So it flags as inappropriate content whenever Chris Cox is put into an event. So if you do run into some kind of flagging for that was not approved terms and conditions. This post violates terms and conditions. It'll show up as an error message there. Just take whatever is the error causing that error. So if I just put my whole Zoom link in there that says Chris Cox is inviting you to his personal Zoom room, it flags that as a violation of terms and conditions. So if you run into that, you'll just fix those errors before you do it, and it'll be able to post it. So then, or what questions do anybody have on creating an event from an administrative side? All right. So from there, from an admin side, you have a couple things that you can do. Now you can see, if you go over to manage, you'll be able to see who is attending it. So you'll be able to see who has kind of registered for that event. So if I take a look at, let's just say next week's Tech Thursday, if I go to see attendees, these are the people who have registered as an attendee for that event. If it's a bigger event and I wanted to export that event, I could go ahead and export the reports. That will, I'll be able to see who has attended my events or who has at least registered to attend the event, and maybe who wasn't able to make it, and maybe send them a recording of it personally or whatever you wanted to do from there. You also get some kind of analytics to it. So if I hit view analytics, you'll be able to see who this post has reached, who has had impressions on it. So you'll be able to see if the events that you're publishing are being seen by anybody, or if they are, just not being seen by anybody. So that is events from the administrative side. The last thing as far as events go is now we're going to turn our head. We're going to assume we are just members of the group. We're not necessarily administrators, and we want to attend an event and make sure that that event ends up on our calendar. So if I go back to the feed, I can see events, and let's just say, oh, I like what Chris had to say last Thursday. I'm going to attend next Thursday's event on Tech Thursday. So I go into the event, and you'll see here, this button will show up that says attend. I'm going to go ahead and hit attend. That will then automatically pop up this add to calendar opportunity. So if you notice, that wasn't there until I hit attend. I'm going to go ahead and hit attend and then add to calendar, and all of your calendar options will show up here. And I use Google Calendar, so I'm going to click Google Calendar. That is going to then create the event on my calendar. You'll see it embedded the Zoom link right inside of the location, as well as it being down here in the description of the event. I would go ahead and save, and that will make that event show up on your calendar. So that's a great way if you ever, if you're like, hey, Workvivo Spaces as an example, maybe that wasn't your jam, but you wanted to make sure that you get Google Business Profile on your calendar. You can kind of pick and choose events that way as well. So that is how you would see what is going on. I mean, that's how you would add events to your calendar and engage with events as a group member instead of an admin. Questions on events? All right, now we're going to get into two sections where I think it's super powerful as a tool for either for your teams or your communities that you want to create, resources for them. So if you go under the More tab, and you turned on this feature, there is links. So this is where you can post links that you just want to get, you can organize your links in however you want to do it, as opposed to just a feed, of random links. Like if you go into, as an example, a Facebook group, the documents are just in chronological order. They're just defaulted. So if you want something specific or a folder of documents, they're a little harder to find. This links, and then when we go to documents, will allow you to also kind of filter through your resources that were kind of categorize your resources, so to speak. So if I click on links, for example, here as a user in the group, I just a sample format that I put here. So I've got all of my useful links here. And let's say I was a team and I wanted to put some of my forms or just quick access to documents, I can put them in here. So I have them as titled internal forms. And these would then be links out to, a listing entry form as an example, or buyer under contract form, or if you've got some kind of format to request a review from Google or Zillow or Realtor or whatever, however you request your reviews. If your team, has a marketing person and agents on the team just need to request marketing materials be made up, you can go to and you could kind of categorize and organize your material that way, and then you just make these all active links. And then so maybe you have some external links here, and you've got if I click on this Rise Day 2 recap, it brings me out to an article that I've shared on there. If you want to, put something like videos in here, you can also embed videos. So they don't have to just be links. They can be links out to external things. And then you've got also, if you want to kind of highlight and, make things stand out, you can also do what they call alerts. So this is an alert style. And then this is an alert with what's they call this a danger alert. So this is, the pink kind of makes it pop out here, and you can just make that an active, a link out to somewhere else. So if I click on that, that is my going out to the calendar for the school. So it's a very useful kind of tool to, organize and categorize your activities. I mean, your important documents and resources there. Questions on links? Now, how do I go ahead as an admin and add links? So if you're in the link section, you'll see over here this little edit useful links button. I'll click on that. And now you'll see basically that page, and you can now start organizing your information. So if I wanted to add another external link here, I would just go under my subscribe to YouTube channel, and I would put whatever kind of link style of link I had. So you'll see here, there's lots of things that you can choose to do. So if I wanted to just put a picture in there, that's my image. It'll just insert an image. If I wanted to insert a YouTube video, I would go to insert media. That's going to pop up a window for me to put the link to the YouTube video in there, and then that will just pop up underneath. If it's just a straight link, I'm just going to go ahead and click link, and you drop the link there, and then whatever text it is you want to display, and then how you want to title that, and then whether you want this to open in a current window or open in a new window. And then what I like, and this is, if you wanted to create something that is one of these alerts or just other styles, they have this pretty cool feature here that is called, I don't even know what it's called, but it just brings up kind of the internal features that Workvivo has. They call them templates. So if I cover over that, you'll see all of the templates that I can put in there. So for example, that basic alert danger, that is what I just had as that pink. That's the one that shows up as red or pink. And then I've got tiled alerts where instead of just being a one line, it becomes a 2-line kind of paragraph. And then these are all the other things that if it's something you're interested in, you can kind of see what they would do. So if I want to put a text card in there, that'll just be, either some kind of text box. You'll see it just kind of creates a little index card kind of format around it. So it's another way to, organize your resources inside of your useful links. So that's the useful links page. I think that's a great resource. And then the last thing I wanted to cover here today is going to be documents. So documents work kind of just like as your filing cabinet, but it's a way where you can put great resources for, if it's a community and you're sharing, resources to, for example, in there, I've got this listingleads.com marketing checklist. If you're a team leader or something along those lines, you could put folders of documents such as pre-listing packets or listing packets or marketing materials. However you want to organize this, you can organize them into files and then folders, and then you can also you'll see in here where you can just put individual documents in there. And if you, depending on how you have it set up, you can determine who can post stuff in there. So if I wanted to add a file, I would just go to File, and I can choose, hey, is this going to go right in the top level, which would show up right in the feed here, or is this going to go inside of one of these folders? So let's say I was going to go into important files. I would then label that label the file itself. I would add the file and go ahead and upload whatever attachment that is. And then if you want it to show up with an icon or an image, you can actually put the image in there. So let's just say it was a screen capture of a marketing piece. You can actually put that PNG or GIF file there, or JPEG or whatever it is. You can put that there. And then a nice feature here, you can actually set it so that these documents will can automatically expire as well. So if you wanted them to, if it was something that was time sensitive and it was only good for 30 days, you can set so this document no longer lives in there after 30 days. You'd go ahead and save that. And now inside of my important files is this test file. As an admin, you can also see analytics. So you'll be able to see who is, maybe interacting with your documents, or if if they're team leader, as an example, and you've got 10 people on your team and it's an important document and only 4 people have looked at it, you may want to be able to, let them know, hey, this important document, make sure you take a look at it there. So documents are a great way to kind of put, important organize your important fold documents for your team or your community or whatever it is. And you can also bulk upload as well. So if, let's say, you had something like this pre-listing packet and it was a bunch of documents, if I go over to add, you'll see there's bulk upload. And in bulk upload, I can do that same thing. I can say, hey, I need these to go in pre-listing packet, and then you'll be able to browse for all of your documents and put those in there together all at once. So it'll upload them all, and it'll put all of them in that folder for you. So you don't have to upload them one at a time. You can also do bulk uploads. So there are a couple other features inside of Workvivo that we won't get to today. They work kind of the same mechanisms. So pages and news, they are, the same kind of mechanisms where you can, post documents, add those templates as you choose in there. It's a great way to kind of push materials out from these other places or link out to other trainings. Or, as if, let's just say you're using it as a team leader, you could also use it to, set certain trainings or a new hire kind of pathway where you could say, hey, please attend these trainings as a new hire, and you can kind of give them that checklist as they go along. But pages, news, those kind of work the same way for that. But I'm already 3 minutes over today. Questions, thoughts? What do you got?
Cool. It seems to operate a bit like a Facebook page, almost like, right? Where you can, put
Yep,
some things. So it
it
has a little
yeah,
intuitiveness. It's good.
yeah, it's got that familiar structure that I feel Facebook groups, as a specific, or a page kind of feel has to it, with some added functionality of, administrative type tools. And these pages and news, which we really didn't get the chance to dive into today, I think that separates it a little bit above like a Facebook group. The challenge for so many of us is our Facebook groups that we've created over time. They've got a lot of data in them and resources in them. So I understand for some people that it's a challenge to convert over to a new tool. But some of the great, if this is a a community, if you were launching a platform or
Oh
a
yeah,
community.
I wasn't intending that to be like,
Oh
hey,
yeah,
this is,
no,
yeah, I was just saying I like that it has some similarity,
familiar.
so at
Yeah.
least you know how to navigate it and leverage it. But yeah, it's awesome what's in there. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's a great tool. And then if you turn on the notifications, you'll get them. They're working. They work. You'll get the notification. Like, for example, 5-10 minutes before this event, because I'm signed up for the Tech Thursday, I received a notification, hey, your event Tech Thursday is starting soon. Not because it was my event, because I RSVP'd as an attendee. So, that's hopefully a way to not have, events just kind of fall out of memory for you, right? You get that notification even just a few minutes before it. So, all right, I went a little over today. I appreciate everybody hopping on. Thank you so much for attending and engaging. And next week, we'll be starting our journey on Google Business Profile. So hopefully we'll get a strong crowd for that. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. Bye-bye.